Hi everybody, it's Miss Cassidy here for your online theory lesson for this week. Today we are moving on from treble clef to bass clef. So we have learned a lot about the treble clef, guys. We've learned the note names for all the lines and spaces. You have learned how to draw the notes. You learned how to draw the treble clef. Keep that in your mind. You need to have that knowledge. But we are moving on to the bass clef. So what does that mean? The bass clef is on the staff, the same as the treble clef, but it indicates a lower section of notes. So if you imagine looking at your piano keyboard, all the 88 keys that are right there, the treble clef is like a higher section of the piano, and the bass clef is the lower section. It uses the same system, right? It still, uses alphabetical order for the note names, but they're just lower notes. So we have to know what note names go with the notes on the bass clef, and we need to be able to draw a bass clef. So let's start out. Let's just draw our staff, our 5 parallel lines. Oh, aren't they beautiful? Getting better at this. Okay, we're gonna start just by drawing a bass clef. The bass clef, also known as the F clef, kind of looks like a stylized F. And there's another reason it's called the F clef. It's because it kind of centers around the line that is F on the keyboard, F. So we are going to start this way. We're going to draw a little dot on the 4th line right here. There's my dot. And then we do a swooping motion that stays contained in the staff. So notice that I'm still within the 5 lines. I haven't gone outside it. Now, a lot of times I get sloppy and it gets bigger, but if I'm going to do it correctly, that's how it should be. And then there's 2 dots that go around that 4th line. And this is called your F clef. If you'll look, it does kind of look like an F, just a little bit. And this is our bass clef. If you are a bass, if you are a male singer that sings bass, this is the clef that you're going to be looking at most often. Also, Mrs. Pollard uses this clef a lot when she's playing the left hand of the piano. Other instruments that use bass clef would be like the cello, bassoon, bass clarinet, trombone. All of those instruments would use the bass clef. All right, so just like in treble clef, we've got 5 lines and 5 spaces, and we have to know what letter names go with these. So for our line notes, there is a little memory device you can use, and there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. I like to use George Bush drives fast always. George Bush drives fast always. That's GBDFA. That's going to be your bass clef lines. Mrs. Pollard uses another one. She uses good band directors fart always, but that's sort of naughty, so you don't have to use that. But those are the note names for the lines. Now, if you can't remember those, that's okay. On today's assignment, they are listed there right at the top of the page, so you have that as a reference. For the spaces, there's only 4 of them, just like in treble clef. So don't forget, in treble clef, we use face in the space. But for the bass clef, we use this one. All cows eat grass. A-C-E-G. For those space notes. So for today's assignment, you're going to have to practice drawing a bass clef, so make sure you put this in Notability. You can't do this assignment on your laptop. You need to do this on your iPad. You'll draw the bass clef and then identify note names. As always, make sure that you reach out to me if you have any questions or any problems, and we will review this in class at some point. So see you guys soon. Have a good day.